Let's be very honest. If awkward moments were illegal, none of us would be sitting here today. Mine happened in an elevator. Now, elevators are already socially dangerous places. No one knows where to look. The floor numbers suddenly become fascinating, and everyone pretends to be doing something important on their phones. And you get death stares like that from terrible people like him. So I walked into this elevator in my apartment. There's already one adult inside. Middle-aged, formal clothes, serious face. So I walked in, the doors closed, it became dead silent, and my incompetent brain decides that I have to be friendly now. Looking at his attire, I wanted to give him a compliment. He didn't look that bad at all. But then I juggled between the good and the bad. I said, "Sir, you don't look that good at all." Sorry, no, that's not what I meant. You don't look, you look bad. No, you don't good, good. Now, every time I use good and bad in a sentence, I have to think before I do that. Trying to recover from the juggle of words I just had, I tried wishing him a good day. But instead I said, "Sir, have a great death." Did I just say death? You know, that man must have had a wonderful day. He started a bright morning with a death wish from a teenager. How eventful. So the elevator stopped, the doors opened, and that man ran out of there. I can't even say ran, he skedaddled his way out of there. So if any of you have issues with people and want to drive them away, call me. I seem to be an expert at that. I just stood there, embarrassed. I looked at the mirror and thought, wow, this is the face representing social excellence. Every shower, every meal, that moment tormented me, and there's a reason for that. Science shows that awkwardness activates the amygdala and the anterior cingulate cortex. Now, these two very important parts of your brain treat awkwardness like a pop-up ad that refuses to close. When your social expectations don't match with reality, your amygdala launches a fight, treating awkwardness like a physical predator. A 2015 study in psychological science, in that study it was found that we remember these moments almost 50% more vividly than normal ones. But why? Because our hippocampus essentially hits the save file button, prioritizes these moments, and wires them into long-term storage as a survival mechanism so that we don't repeat the mistake. But, very ironically, awkwardness makes people like you more. Obviously, with the elevator situation, I would disagree. That man definitely didn't like me more. But it turns out to be true. The famous pratfall effect conducted by Harvard University shows that when a person makes a small social mistake, they are perceived as more relatable and more likable. Even history agrees with me. In 1981, Princess Diana had a nasty giggle during her engagement interview. The media labeled it as awkward, but that moment turned her from a distant royal into a relatable icon. That nasty giggle helped her earn the name the People's Princess. Take Steve Jobs, for example. His early presentations in the 70s were filled with long, awkward pauses. Today we call that dramatic intentional timing. But because of his long pauses back then, today we have iPhones with Siri that loves us more than anything. As a 2022 Forbes survey noted, almost 80% of professional growth comes from discomfort. Growth doesn't happen when things go smoothly. It happens when things go weird. Which precisely brings me back to my cringeworthy elevator situation. So let's fast forward weeks later, I met the exact same man again. Exact same elevator, exact same silence. My brain panicked once again. But this time, I was chill, I was calm, and I told him, "Hi, sorry, the last time we met, my brain just left early." And you know what? He was casual about it too. He smiled, and told me, no problem, happens to me every Sunday morning. This moment proved that I'm not bad at socializing. It showed that I'm human. So the next time you accidentally sign a poor man's death warrant in an elevator, do not panic. Just be happy thinking that nobody's going in an elevator with you, you have it all to yourself. Remember that somewhere in your brain, your anterior cingulate cortex is taking notes. Somewhere in the future, that moment is making you braver. And somewhere, someone else must be thinking, at least I'm not the only one. Thank you.